Oh, hello everyone. It's Susie again, Crypto Granny. The date is the 17th of September 2024, and the time in Europe is 18:14 p.m. Got another podcast for you today to make sure that everyone is, everyone knows what's going on in the world of financial markets as well as cryptocurrency assets. Really important. Now, under market news on our app, there's three videos I put out today. One is I obviously talk about last week's news. I don't actually look live coin watching that one, but I will now for this one. And also posted Jim Rickard's a very well-known mega billionaire plus investor. And he said the Great Depression is here and coming, and it's going to affect a generation of people for at least 35 years. He basically says the stock market is priced to the ridiculous. US dollar is going to come down, i.e., US dollar assets like the US equity market. So watch out. In this environment, you need to be diversified, and he means diversified by asset class, gold, commodities, cryptocurrency, out of stocks, out of housing, out of the US dollar, and so forth. The second video I sent to you also was most people have no idea what is coming. We are in a depression, which is probably as bad, I would say, as 1929, unfortunately. Could be worse than that. We have mega stagflation. The numbers that are being published by the statisticians globally from the central banks are garbology. Even the economist numbers are garbology. No one questions them. But inflation running at 2% per annum, I don't think so. Like $2 extra for $100 worth of goods last year, they're on drugs, man. Inflation's up 203%. 200% or 300%, depending on which economy you look at, right? Even the emerging market debts economies, inflation's up like 1,000%. People are getting more in poverty, and there's starvation and poverty everywhere, unfortunately. But we need to be aware of this because it all affects financial markets. It affects, obviously, the credit markets, the equity markets, the money markets, the real estate markets and everything else, as well as crypto. But crypto is the best place to be, particularly in the cryptocurrency coins that we are in. We're in the best. I've got to say, I love this dog. There was this owner, obviously, on Twitter, X, and the dog was just so happy. I mean, if that is not love, I don't know what is. Animals love, they really love. Anyway, please look after yourself. Please look after your partners, your beautiful husbands, your beautiful wives, your beautiful children, your beautiful animals, and please do look after other animals that are starving or in distress, just to make this world a better place. So on that note, grab yourself a cup of coffee. Got a lot to go through, want to get you up to date. And I'll grab myself a cup of coffee because I don't have any coffee here. I love my coffee. By the way, coffee prices are up ballistic. There's two types of coffee, Arabica and Robusta. Robusta is the cheapest one. That's up massively because there's droughts where they make coffee in Brazil and everywhere else, and the Western Africa. And there's no supply of coffee, and we all love coffee. So expect to pay much more for coffee when you go to the shops. And I even notice in our shops, there's not much coffee on the shelves. So it's not only supply chain driven, but massive demand, and also the coffee crops, unfortunately, have failed, whether it be drought or flood. We're getting crazy climatic changes. So let's get on with the news of crypto and the data and all the good news stories that have come out re the crypto that we hold specifically in our investment portfolio number 7. And I'll tell you how I think of this world at the moment. And I'm an economist by profession. I love economics, and what I'm seeing is, I've got to tell you, alarming. Certainly alarming for the housing market, and certainly alarming for equity markets that are primed and priced for perfection. I mean, if Warren Buffett is sitting in trillions of dollars of cash, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to work out what's going. If all the biggest investors in the world, Ray Dalio, many others, calling down, Mr. Buffett, it's just, you got to be really worried about where this whole world is going. And certainly the US dollar looks like it's going to get absolutely hammered. I'll just grab a cup of coffee and I'll be back in a sec. Oh, I love coffee. I really do. Let me just have a taste of my coffee. Bear with me for a minute. Mm. So economic news was out today, and as we saw, interestingly enough, Canadian housing starts fell quite a lot. They were expecting 250,000. Like the month before was 279,000, and they got 217,000, which is not surprising. The same thing's happening in America at the moment. Housing starts annualized are going down quite a bit, even though it's coming from a fairly large figure. US retail sales are expecting negative 0.2. They got 0.1, still very weak. Canadian CPI, Consumer Price Index, year on year is 2%. Garbology, garbology, garbology. They're saying it's down, it's garbology, garbology. Retail sales are not great month on month, 0.1, they're expecting 0.2. And annualized retail sales are very low, 2.13%. Last month was 2.66% year on year in the US. That's a very important figure, and the reason why is the US is a service economy. It's made up of 70% of retail service economy as such, right? So those figures are very, very weak indeed, very weak. What's the next figure? Let's just play this. We had some more data. Industrial production was up 0.8. Don't believe it for a minute. They're expecting 0.2. I think these figures are garbology, to be perfectly honest. The red book was 4.6, down from 6.5 a month before. As you can see, there is weakness here. I don't believe these industrial figures. Capacity utilization is higher. It means that they've got another 22% that they haven't used in terms of capacity utilization for production, which means demand is very weak. They have more supply. Output 0.9, I think that's garbology. These are garbology figures, to be perfectly honest with you. The housing index run by the US NAHB is at 41, under 50, very negative indeed, very, very negative. And business inventories are starting to increase, which is not great because that means businesses are not selling their inventories to consumers. And we see that in the figures, very weak. In my mind, the Fed needs to cut 50 basis points tomorrow. They are behind the curve and haven't got a clue. I've got to tell you that. Haven't got a clue. They are way behind the interest rate curve. And the interest rate curve, as I said before, should start steepening with the 2-year going lower in yield and the 10-year going higher in yield. And rightly so, because we have stagflation and depression, not recession and no inflation. The figures are garbology for inflation, and all the output figures are garbology. I just don't believe it. They're wrong and they're just not right, because what's happening on the ground with normal people like me and you is it's costing us a fortune to live, right? And we're seeing it right across soft commodities, hard commodities. We're seeing it through everything we do in our lives, right? Not just education, but utilities. The list goes on, right? So what else we got here? Let's play this video. I hope you like my videos too, by the way. And if you do like them, I will be sending out these videos that I do for my clients on the day, probably about 5 days later or something. So if you just wanted to see it on YouTube, but I do have a subscription. If you're a client of mine beforehand, for €65 a month, and you get lots of things over that month on our own platform that we created. And it's in the app stores as well, by the way. You can download it on Google and Apple Store. So the FOMC I believe, has to cut. The interest rates at 5.25 to 5.5 are way too high. And if they do cut tomorrow, Bitcoin will be through 64,000 before you can say Jack Robinson. Okay, many people are saying 25 basis points, but I believe they need to cut 50 basis points. If they don't, the market will be disappointed. Bitcoin comes back a bit, it's time to buy, right? Bitcoin gets to 55,000, time to buy. Interest rates are too high and people are getting killed, absolutely killed. So I think this comes out 2 o'clock New York time, 8 o'clock my time, but I believe they need to cut by 50 basis points. And if they don't, they're just more inept than I thought they were. That is a fact, okay? You know, they've been manipulating the yield curve for too long. US debt's at all-time high. They need to cut interest rates because their debt burden just to pay the interest is over $1 trillion a year, right? And that's a lot. And their debt burden is now going up $1 trillion every month. I mean, it's staggering, the debt. And when I talk about debt, I'm talking about public debt, which is around 36 trillion now. But don't forget, private debt is even, 3 times higher, 124, 125 trillion, okay? It's massive, 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 massive. Now, with a rate cut at 25 basis points, the US dollar will bounce against the yen, but I'm a seller, an absolute seller. With a rate cut of 50 basis points, the US will break below 140 to the yen. So great for an options position on the US dollar, great position to play options. And I probably will, but, again, we're going to get an explosion in US dollar. Any rally will be sold, and any 50 basis points, the US dollar could really breach 200, could breach 3 big figures, okay? Which is what I mean by that is 141 down to 138. Massive deceleration, decline in the US dollar. So I do believe that Bitcoin, again, will take out its high this year. Any dip in Bitcoin is to be bought, and we do not sell Bitcoin and we do not sell BCH. There is no supply. Now, this week, there's 5 SEC senators set to testify. It's going to be very interesting whether Ethereum is a security or not. That's been going around for a while. There's a lot of reasons not to be in Ethereum. Mr. Gary Gensler's up there. Apparently up there for alleged illegal hiring at the agency. Wow. Also with the SEC launching investigations into Ethereum's security status last month as well. So apparently all the commissioners are going to testify. So watch out. This is going to be very interesting to see what happens with the SEC and these commissioners. And I've got to tell you, I think they've done a shocking job. Gary Gensler, an academic, has got no idea, okay? No idea whatsoever. He's the wrong guy for the job. He's too much of an academic and not practical enough. Now, apparently, he's broken federal laws, allegedly so, and he favoured certain politician affiliations and all sorts of things. And then you'd have to think, what about SBF, FTX, right? He was a good mate of his, and why didn't he see that coming? And now SBF wants to get out of jail. He's got 25-year sentence. He wants it to be made less, of course. But, again, if there's been any sort of collusion or, where the SEC was just totally biased towards Ethereum over and above Ripple or anything else, Mr. Gensler is gone. And I really don't know why they don't get rid of Mr. Gensler. That's my view on that, okay? Many people don't like him, and there's a lot of movement in the crypto industry, particularly, to get rid of him. The committee chair of the House Financial Services, Mr. McHenry, has been very negative about Mr. Gensler. So is Hester Peirce, again, saying that, he's not the right person for the job, and I agree with that. We're seeing Russia with digital currency, already paying in digital currency. We're seeing China do the same thing. And the US is just going further and further behind in terms of cryptocurrency, and it's a shocker. With Ethereum, there was a conflict of interest because the SEC people that were there were basically being funded by Ethereum Foundation. Now, apparently there was another attempt for another assassination attempt for Donald Trump, and golly, a second one. It's just crazy. What is going on in America, right? Seriously, this fellow apparently was lying in the bush for 11 hours with an AK style rifle and was about 300 to 500 yards away from Mr. Trump. You've got to wonder, where are the Secret Service people? Seriously, I mean, this is the second time. It's a bit scary. I don't know whether I'd be in politics in America. It's very frightening, and I wouldn't be there. Apparently, this fellow was 58, didn't like Mr. Trump. He'd been to the Ukraine trying to stop the war over there. I mean, the guy sounds like he's a lunatic, seriously. He's been charged with 100 accounts of holding, guns and all sorts of things. And apparently he could go to jail for 25 years. God, there's some crazies in America. Seriously, what the hell is going on? The violence is frightening, to be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't want to be a politician for anything over there. Oh. You got to have courage, right, to be a politician in America, because, every time you think it's the last of it, something else happens, you know. And what is there? A betting site, you know, who can kill Mr. Trump, you know, for, I mean, it's just crazy, man. This is crazy. Very, very bad, you know. I guess everyone remembers who killed JF Kennedy, you know, if it's true, Lee Harvey Oswald. So I guess people, you know, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, unbelievable. I think I did this FOMC one. Sometimes I put these in accidentally. I apologize for that. Yeah, we did have that one. So FOMC tomorrow is a big one. I'll inform you guys and girls who are my clients straight away on what happens with that, because that's going to be very interesting for all markets. Okay. Also, we've seen Microsoft strategy buy more Bitcoin. They bought 18,500 units the other day, 1.1 billion, and now they're issuing a bond, right? A bond of 700 million to buy more Bitcoin, a convertible note, okay, which is a bond-like characteristics and then converts to equity. So it's a dilution of the equity holder, and effectively you don't want to be sitting in equity. But this one, MicroStrategy, you know, is doing very well, because basically people are seeing it is a derivation, or basically the company is made up of Bitcoin, 244,000 units of Bitcoin or more, and understandable that people are buying that on the stock exchange to get an exposure to Bitcoin. And that makes a lot of sense. And certainly Michael Saylor is backing himself with, you know, what he believes is where he believes Bitcoin could get to in a period of 20 years or so, $13 million per unit, which is obscene, right? So, you know, he's playing the yield curve as well as the equity market, and basically transferring from those two to investing in Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has now become a Bitcoin acquisition company that will continue to support the mainnet and the network of Bitcoin. Okay, and that makes a lot of sense to me. You know, he's basically created the longevity of this company by buying Bitcoin, and we're seeing many other people do that as well. Bhutan came out, a small country near India, Bhutan, and they've also bought themselves more Bitcoin than El Salvador. And I think that was very interesting as well. So yeah, very interesting indeed. Now, if we look at Bitcoin today, according to the 24-hour clock from Crypto Compare, Bitcoin opened at this level, 58,690, got to a high of 59,285, and at the moment, according to this, is 59,069. We will go to Live Coin Watch, but I just want to see what else is on here. I always forget what I post after this, because yeah. So Bitcoin exchanges, yeah. So let's go to Live Coin Watch, people, and take it from there. And I'll do a new share if I can find where I need to go. Bear with me for a minute, and we'll go to Live Coin Watch. Okay, so what have we got here? I need to share. Can you see that? Not sure. Bear with me for a minute. There we go. Should be able to see that, people. Now let's go to Live Coin Watch. Here we are, and the time is 18:36 in Amsterdam, and the date is the 17th of the 9th. And we've got market overview, market cap at 2.115 trillion. Volume is pretty good at 67 bill, and liquidity is not bad at 5.76 bill. Bitcoin dominance is rising, and rightly so. It's currently at 56.8944%. XRP dominance is starting to go down at 1.5643%. Ethereum looks terrible at 13.2273%. That dominance, I believe, is going to 3%. Tron dominance looks reasonable, can go much higher than this, 0.6187. Link the same, 0.3090 dominance at the moment. Solano 294 dominance, and BCH is at 0.29, but I'm expecting all those dominances to rise except XRP and Ethereum and Cardano. If we look at Bitcoin currently, it's at 60,901, past where MicroStrategy bought their last lot of Bitcoin. They bought it at over 60,000, 60,300. They're already making money. It's up 5.36% today. Ethereum is certainly the lagger at 2369. It's only up 3.63%. If you look at Bitcoin to Ethereum, Bitcoin is going up and Ethereum is going down. If you look at Ethereum to Bitcoin, it's just one graph straight down, okay, and it's going lower and lower. Binance, it's at 548 at 0.35, up 3.4%. Solana up 1.35% at 132.74. Very cheap. Binance very cheap. Bitcoin very cheap. XRP at 2.22%. We can't afford to stay in XRP. I think it's over, and it's not even showing Bitcoin level at 5.39% today. Doge 2.18, Tron up 1.67, hitting a wall, Tron, but I think once it breaks 16.5 cents, it's off to the races. ADA I don't like, 1.98. AMEX up 3.55, great story, will go much higher. Link, very, very cheap at $10.75. This thing could really go high, like very high. BCH, another story, up, and away we go. 315.66, up 1.41. As we go down, Fetch, ASI, up nearly 3%, great story. And my favorite meme, Pepe, is up 3% today, 3.05, okay? And I believe this will go to 1 digit, okay? And that's a big rally when that happens. All right, so let's go back to our video and let's see what else I put up there. I always forget what I do, you know, we'll see. Oh yeah, here we go. Bitcoin reserves, they're getting less and less and less, as you can see by the screen. Can you see this? Let me just double check. Oh, can you? Yeah, you can. Great. So what we've got is basically exchange reserves are going down, 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 down. And it basically saying that across this line here, it's less than 2.5 mil out of the total 21 mil. Once that goes, there is no Bitcoin left. And I find it hard to believe that there's that much still left. Don't forget Bitcoin's been lost in all sorts of things. Now we've got Bitcoin over 60,000. It's going to go straight up here with price and reserves down, down, down. It's just a no-brainer, and that's exactly where it's going to go, where there will be no supply of Bitcoin, and the exchanges will have to buy a lot more Bitcoin. It'll cost them a lot more to buy Bitcoin, right? This decline has been quite significant, and as time's going on, that decline's getting faster and faster. As more and more people buy Bitcoin, not just retail, but governments and big sovereign wealth funds, it's a no-brainer. And don't forget the ETFs on the stock exchange. Everyone has to buy physical Bitcoin, and there's just no Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. So yeah, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know where this is going, right? You know, again, the reserves are dropping fast and they continue to drop very, very quickly. Over 2 weeks, 38,000 was bought in Bitcoin. That's a lot. If you look at what MicroStrategy bought, 18,338 units of Bitcoin, it was 1.1 billion. So if they're buying, obviously, you know, 38 units, what's that? That's double that. So it's going to be about $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. A lot of money is going into Bitcoin, okay? And it's over and above Ethereum, which is like a dying, I don't know, old Ford compared to the Ferrari of Chainlink or Solana or ASI Fetch. So many people are holding Bitcoin, and rightly so, because you will not be able to get Bitcoin without paying a lot of money for Bitcoin in the future. And if there's no supply, one apple in the world out of 8 billion people, or 4 billion or whatever, and you've only got 5% of the world investing in crypto, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know where Bitcoin is going. That is a fact. Now, Tether issued stablecoin USD Tether has now grown its market share to 75% of the total stablecoins out there, which I think is amazing. In my view, Ripple missed this. This should have been XRP, but no, it's not. It's actually Tether, right? And their market capital now tops 1.18 billion. And, Ripple should have done this 4 years ago. They've effectively missed the boat. Unfortunately, that is the case. And we do see even Tron stablecoin and Solana stablecoin is making a lot of headways as well. So what else we got here? It is the largest stable coin. Apparently, it's doubled in 2 years compared to its competitors. It moved up from 55% of market share 2 years ago to 75%, which is incredible, right? Tether is making so much money, it is a joke, right? And the fact that it's growing astronomically with data by blockchain and mainnets is quite incredible. 118.6 billion out of 160 billion stable coins. It's massive, right? Massive. And they've done incredibly well. Incredibly well. Circle's USDC is a third the size. So, you know, you've got to stick to the liquid stable coins, right? We do sell US Tether because it's backed against US dollar, right? And we believe US dollar is going down. So we're in Bitcoin or other coins, and we're always selling US Tether. Now, it's very important that Tether buys US dollars against its USDT, okay? And that's where you see proof of reserves, and they're being audited as well to make sure that they're actually buying US dollars, right? So that's very, very interesting. We do see that peg changing sometimes, but I believe that peg will start to unwind as the US dollar comes down really badly. That peg will start to unwind below $1 to $1 of real US dollars, okay? And that's why we're short USD Tether. What else we got? Someone got a license. What was that about? Oh, we know PayPal's doing well, but they do charge a lot. I don't like PayPal much. I never have, actually. What else is here? June money, Standard & Chartered launch. Oh, okay. Standard & Chartered announced the launch of a spot trading desk for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It doesn't surprise me because they're huge in Asia, Standard Chartered, and Africa as well. So a lot of interest in those countries for Bitcoin, particularly because of the demise in the fiat currencies. Good story for those guys, actually. Standard Chartered, they're doing very, very well. Very well. We also see that DBS, a Singapore bank, is expanding into cryptocurrency derivatives, options, and futures. Standard Chartered got also a license in Dubai, which is a great story for those guys as well. And they're partnered with crypto.com, which again, I hasten to add, is also a big contender and a big competitor for XRP, Ripple. And I just feel Ripple has just missed the plot completely, unfortunately, because they don't come, you know, we know they don't follow up clients or anything like that. You know, and I mentioned that to you last time. I was trying to call them, you know, for 20 times and this sort of thing. Chainlink joins Fireblock to help banks to increase the Web3 industry, but also pricing oracles. Again, Chainlink is a mega node. I believe Chainlink should go up by more than 1,000% year on year. It is a mega node, and it is so cheap. It is a joke. Plus, they're into tokenization in a big way. Chainlink kills it, okay? Absolutely kills it in terms of technology. And this is a great story for Chainlink with a collaboration between them and Fireblocks. It's to make things much safer, to make things quicker, and to have interoperability and integration with other mainnets and other non-mainnets. And interoperable facilities, and using decentralized Web3 technology. Chainlink is a mega node and is way too cheap, way too cheap. Plus, they have a lot of backing by financial markets and the banks as well. Swift is using them, and that's 11,500, the biggest banks in the world. Chainlink has that client, and it's worth millions and billions to them, millions and billions. All right, what else we got? What's that one? Okay, don't know what this one is. Bear with me for a minute. Oh, the graph. There was a really good story about the graph, right? We don't hold it in investment portfolio number 7, but people that hold the graph will hold it in investment portfolio number 5, which we set up years ago, and we sold out a couple of years ago, right? In the rally of the last rally, when the market got to over 3 trillion. So, but the story is pretty good. I'll keep an eye on the graph and see if we want to buy some for investment portfolio number 7. But I need to do another review of the graph to see if that's what I want to do, right? Because things change in 5 years, or even in 2 years, or even in 6 months. Now we have AI, and we never had AI before. So, it's a great story. So let me just go to the next slide. Where is that? Okay, where does that start? Bear with me for a minute. Where's that story? No, what's that? That's something else. Bear with me. Just got to find the story to the graph. GRT is what we're looking for here. But again, we bought the graph really cheap, okay? There was a good report today. The graph clocks 1.95 billion monthly queries, registers 11-fold year-on-year growth. That is massive. 1.95 billion monthly queries. That's insane, right? I do need to look at the graph in terms of valuation and everything else, and active clients and all this, and money-making abilities, because that is incredible, right? This was a very interesting story, I have to say. So I need to have a look at this again, people. The network expansion supports 60+ blockchains, offering developers lowering costs and faster syncing. One thing also about the graph is it can extract data from blockchains and networks and put it into query form or information that's very good visually, almost like Excel, apparently so. I haven't tested it, but apparently that's what it does. So this is a very interesting article to me, okay? And I will look at the graph again. Key takeaways of this report: 1.95 billion monthly queries is insane. 11 times growth, over 9,000 subgraphs on the graphs. Decentralized network grew to 361%. I'm loving the figures. I will double check these figures, but I'm loving these figures. The graph at the moment, I think it's 15 cents. They're doing decentralization of data, interoperability. This is a very good story, people. I have to tell you this, but I will have to confirm what I'm reading. Never, ever take the press as being truthful, because a lot of the time the reporters don't have a clue, haven't got a clue. Now, one of the most rewarding journeys of the past year has been empowering Edge and Node team to fully upgrade the graph's hosted services to the decentralized network. It's been incredible to watch each individual teammate rise to the occasion, setting in the motion the world data economy movement. Tegan Klein, CEO of Edge and Node, stated. I don't know who Edge and Node are, but obviously they're the team that looks after the graph. Wow, the graph's mainnet, the network. But the graph network supports over 60 blockchain mainnets, offering developers lower costs and competing syncing times. Wow, that is awesome. Future plans include enhancing subgrades, expanding to serve more user data needs beyond subgraphs, aiming to build a unified knowledge graph for decentralized verifiable data. Very interesting. Could be a vague competitor to Chainlink, but they're much more into showing you subgraphs and this sort of thing than Chainlink, which is really Chainlink's, a technology that's looking at the proper pricing data, okay, for securities and non-securities like crypto, right? So this is very interesting. The graph itself sits alone, and this is exactly the sort of things we like to invest in. And we certainly invested in it way back in 2001, I think, and, we made good money out of it. So definitely I need to have a look at this one, people, the graph again, because this is very good. Okay, another great story about IOTX. We're in IOTX as well. IOTX to enable cross-chain rewards and settlement with layer integration. Terrific story. IOTX is AI. It's very cheap. And this is another great story. And we're in IOTX for our investment portfolio number 7. IOTX is a decentralized physical infrastructure network that is now partnered with Polygon Labs to integrate its two 0.0 blockchain with Aglan. Now that's very interesting. I didn't know they were looking at Polygon, which is a great network, and Polygon is starting to perform now that it's been transferred on most exchanges to POL. So this is a really good story, guys and girls. And I like IoTX very much. It's in AI and it's in the right area. Very good story. I didn't realize they were using Polygon. Matic Pol. The collaboration was announced by ADEX CEO, IoTX, that's supposed to be, CEO and co-founder Rulin Shai, together with Polygon. Co-founder Sandeep Nawal was at the event R3AI World event in Singapore on Tuesday. He's very well known, this guy as well, Sandeep Nawal, very, very well known in cryptocurrency technology. Very, very impressive, I've got to say. So yeah, the partnership is to enhance DPIN adoption with Ag layer. So DPIN is basically ID and that sort of thing, but decentralized. This is a great story for both Polygon and ITOX. The integration will leverage Ag layers cross-chain communication and liquidity sharing functions to allow IOTX-based projects to give issuer rewards and to give users more choice to settle a transaction on their preferred blockchain. Wow, that is cool. Rather than doing it on Ethereum, you could do it on XRP, which is cheaper, or something else. Very good indeed. Great story. We do hold ITX. We might buy some more. The companies are integrating with AgLayer to extend cross-chain capabilities, unlocking new liquidity and scaling opportunities. This is I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And I'm impressed because we're in the right coin, okay? Yeah, ecosystems, multi-chain environment. Again, when we talk multi-chain, we're talking Atom, Cosmos, we're talking a lot, we're talking Avalanche, we're talking Solano, and many others, Polygon as well. Wow. Very good indeed. What else we got here? Very good story. Okay, so what was this one about? What this one was about? Let me just play this. Sorry, I've just got to work out where this starts and where it stops. Okay, AI stocks. We love AI stocks. Okay, many people are starting to buy AI cryptocurrency, and we're in a lot of AI. Okay, and that's the right place to be. Absolutely. So, okay, let's go through this. Yep. So they've mentioned in this one, Intel stock surging because it's AI. Oh, interesting. They're going to slash costs like every other company out there. Apparently, Amazon's got 350,000 management staff, and they're going to get rid of a big whack of them because apparently they need meeting for a meeting for a meeting. Crazy, hey? Also, they're looking at Intel, cleaning up things over there. It's interesting. In INTCs. But it's AI that we are concerned with, and I certainly believe that the AI cryptos that we have will do extremely well. They'll benefit by computer chip manufacturers. Mr. Trump, on one of his policies, intends to make America the chip manufacturer of the world, okay? I do like Render. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I like Near, which is also AI, but we're seeing a lot of others as well. The graph is AI, certainly ASI, Fetch is AI, IOTX is AI. There's many others that we sit in that are also AI, like Conflicts, for example. Near I like as well, but again, I think there's cheaper AI to be in, like ASI, which is very, very cheap. Okay. Sorry, it's going a bit long. And Fetch, ASI, of course. Right. Bear with me. What else we got here? Okay, so the Ripple story is still going on, and it's so boring. It is driving me insane. And people are just sick of this, really. I'm fed up with this Ripple SEC thing. I'm just literally sick of it. Okay, here we go. I need a break, people, because it's so boring talking about Ripple and the SEC, seriously. Apparently, this is an alleged story that Ripple versus SEC case reaches its final stages, with the appeal option expiring on October the 7th, 2024. The XRP ledger community is buzzing with excitement. I'm so over this SEC thing. I cannot see the SEC giving up Ripple unless Ripple decide to pay a $125 million fine. I'm just tired of reporting this. I've got to tell you that. So let's see what the story says. One of the most talked about tokens, Trump coin, a coin that has been built on XRP Ledger, is a powerful symbol of economic resilience and a grassroots movement dedicated to supporting Trump's vision for a prosperous America, is showing impressive growth and strong market activity. Let's have a look at that Trump coin, because I've invested in Trump, Doolin. I'm already losing about 95% of my investment, probably the worst investment I have ever made. And I'm glad I didn't tell anyone else to buy. But yeah, so yeah, I've got to look at that Trump coin, because if it's on XRP, it means it's really cheap to transact. So let me have a look at that as well. I've noted that, definitely. So apparently October the 7th, 2024 is going to be a big day for Ripple. And we'll just have to see what happens on that date. I don't know what time. Let's hope it's the end of this whole Ripple SEC thing. Ripple have launched their stablecoin, but it's way too late. If you look at every other stablecoin out there, if you can only achieve 25% of the market, it's pretty poor. USD Tether, as I said, it's got 75% of the market, right? So yeah, this is very interesting. Okay, we'll have to look at this Trump coin. If it's on Ripple, it should be a token that's using Ripple's technology. But I am very interested in Trump token, because I believe Trump will get in. Okay, and I've got to make my losses back from Doolin Trump. So apparently there's going to be some airdrops and a few other things, right? So this is going to be interesting. Also, Mr. Trump is launching with his family, and they'll get 65% of the ownership of the issuance. They're launching a cryptocurrency exchange. And I think there's some story that maybe it could be on XRP Ledger. So I'll have to check that out as well. I don't know whether that's absolutely valid or not, but it's certainly something I've got to check. So this is just the airdrops and this sort of thing, but I'll come back to you, read that. Mr. Larson, Chris Larson, has transferred 50 million of XRP. He's been the co-founder for years. It's the first transfer of XRP he's made in 11 years. And there's a lot of issuance of XRP. Yeah, well, no problem. There's a lot of issuance of XRP, and it is really, really killing XRP investors, because every month $1 billion comes out of their fund into the market, and also people are selling XRP as well. So for me, there's not a reason why I should buy XRP. I think they've missed the plot completely. That's my view. And I don't think I'll be wrong about that. The stablecoin issuance they should have done 5 years ago. Tether did it 2 years ago and now has 75% of the market. That's massive. So apparently this wallet of Chris Larson, the CEO of Ripple, holds 50 million of XRP, which is worth, if Ripple's about 58 cents, it's worth just under $25 million, which is a lot. Maybe he needs to buy a house or something in America. But what this means is this will come to the exchange, and a line of 50 million will go through on the sell side for XRP, right? And that's the problem with XRP. Too many things are coming to the market. In terms of selling of XRP, it's not a great story in itself. I don't know whether the SEC will give up on this legal thing with XRP. It just keeps going on and on. So I think it's pretty boring. And that's why, I think they've really missed the plot. It's not great. Not great at all. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Bit on Trump, he's obviously very pro cryptocurrency and he's launching his own exchange. And allegedly there's a source out there that it could be XRP. So we'll have to have a look at that as well. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think they're in the right place, the Trumps, and they're very, very, whether you like them or not, they're very clever people. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so I've got to see XRP get through 74 cents. We will not be buying XRP until it gets through considerably above 74 cents. Now, Bitcoin flows came in quite a lot, 436 million just in the last day or something. Again, people have to buy Bitcoin. People are not liking Ethereum. We've got negative flows in Ethereum. People are buying Bitcoin. There is no supply of Bitcoin, okay? No supply. And, you know, again, we know where Bitcoin will go. I believe Michael Saylor will probably be right from MicroStrategy, that Bitcoin could go anywhere because there is no supply. We've never had that situation. You know, again, look at one of the world's rarest stamps in the world from Guinea, at the red magenta, got sold for something like 9.8 million pounds, and there's only one in the world. So if that's the case, Bitcoin, you could literally say there is one in the world, 21 million. It's going to be in the millions per unit. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to work that out, okay? All the big funds are getting long Bitcoin ETFs, and they have to buy Bitcoin, BlackRock, Fidelity, and so forth. Okay, so it's just a no-brainer, no-brainer. Okay, so what else we got here? I'm not worried about it. It's just a buy. So apparently there's now some launch. Maybe Ripple is going to collaborate with Mr. Trump. I've heard that. Notably, Ripple acquired a stake in Bitstamp. Bitstamp also got sold to Robinhood. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. They're getting into Europe more so. They are using Ripple Labs, which is good, and Ripple's XRP ledger. But also, as I said, Robinhood has acquired them. They acquired them this year as well, so I don't know where that stands with XRP. They may be using XRP's ledger more, and that's great for XRP. But we need to see revenue, okay? Revenue coming in for XRP. Also, I had a story here, or maybe I just didn't put it up, that there is some rumor that Trump's network called Liberty or something, the crypto exchange, could be using XRP. But I haven't confirmed that yet, and I'll come back with the next video podcast on that just to confirm that and see. Also, Dodge is going up. More and more people are getting into the Dodge, not surprising, because I think I know the crypto exchange of Trump's is going to go on X, and they will certainly be using Dodge, okay? There's no doubt about that. Anyway, guys and girls, that's enough for me. Please do look after yourself. Thank you very much for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe, but it will never be exactly on the date that I do the video, because I have subscription service, and if you'd like to join that, the link is on the video, and it's for existing clients, €65 if you've been a client of mine in the past, or if you're not, it's €120. And we have our own platform for that. So thank you very much for listening. Please look after yourself, look after your beautiful family, partners, friends, your beautiful animals, and just other animals in the world, to make this a better place. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.